So, what's your story? Take a minute to think about it. Do you define yourself by data and statistics? Or do you have something more to say? In this presentation, we'll define narrative inquiry, we'll talk about the differences between story and narrative, we'll review the origins of narrative inquiry, look at narrative structure and the different types of narrative inquiry, we'll review data sources and collection methods, and the characteristics, ethical considerations, and benefits and challenges of using this research method. Telling stories is not new. Human beings have lived out and told stories about that living for as long as we could talk. And then we have talked about the stories we tell for almost as long. These lived and told stories and the talk about the stories are one of the ways that we fill our world with meaning and enlist one another's assistance in building lives and communities. What feels new is the emergence of narrative methodologies in the field of social science research. A qualitative form of research, narrative inquiry is the process of gathering information through storytelling for research purposes. It is focused on exploring the life of an individual, studying one or more individuals. The research is collaborative, as the story is constructed by both the researcher and the participant. The researcher asks questions that will help them interpret and experience the world of the participant, rather than try to explain or predict that world. Humans are storytelling organisms who individually and collectively lead storied lives. Thus, the study of narrative is the study of the ways humans experience the world. Some articles will use the words story and narrative interchangeably. However, they are different. Story, in simplified terms, is about people and situations. A story typically has a beginning, middle, and an end. Think of a story as an anecdote or a vignette that recounts specific moments with a time and a place. It is an account of past events in someone's life or in the evolution of something. People's lives are made up of stories. Narrative, in contrast to story, is a broader vision, a view of what's possible. Looking at the world with an overarching concept that influences thought, meaning, and decision-making. It usually unfolds over time through stories. Narrative has the ability to turn stories into information or data. Although narrative inquiry scholarship has links with postmodern and constructionist approaches, narrative researchers advocate for a reflexive approach that involves critical examination of the nature of the research and the role of the researcher. It's still developing. Writers from numerous social science fields contributed to its emergence in the early 1990s. Clandini and Connolly provided the first overview for the field of education, and Mishler and Reisman suggested that qualitative researchers should listen to the stories of their participants and seek to understand the context and ways that their stories were constructed and positioned. Narrative inquiry emerged from the social sciences, but it's used in a broad range of disciplines, including, but not limited to, education, anthropology, art, psychology, education, medicine, and nursing. In narrative inquiry, researchers and participants collaborate over a period of time in a specific setting or series of places in social environments. Attending to the relational complexity of commonplaces is one of the unique components of narrative inquiry. Commonplaces specify the dimensions of an inquiry and provide the conceptual framework. Three commonplaces of narrative inquiry are temporality, sociality, and place. Temporality allows for looking at the past, present, and future of people, places, things, and events in the research. Narrative inquiry necessitates that the researcher attend to their own lives and their participants' lives, as well as places, things, and events. Sociality speaks to stories being told in a social environment, and researchers need to pay attention to both the participant and the social conditions in which the story is unfolding. And it should include the researcher who cannot extract themselves from the interaction and inquiry experience. Finally, place. All inquiries take place someplace, and places are inextricable components of stories. Narrative inquiry research takes on a variety of forms. The format is less important than being able to recognize the essential characteristic of each format. These include biographical, autobiographical, autoethnography, in which the writing and recording is done by the participant, life history, and oral history. Narrative inquiry data sources and collection methods include storytelling, documents like journals, notes, and letters, group conversations about life experiences, individual conversations about life experiences, interviews, usually unstructured, observation, field notes, oral stories, photos and other artifacts, and family stories. Narrative inquiry focuses on the experiences of an individual. Once stories are collected and analyzed, the researcher reviews the story with the participant and may include some of their own story in the research. Characteristics of the narrative inquiry research process include individual experiences. Understanding an individual's history or past experiences will help to explain the impact on their present and future experiences. Chronology of the experiences. A time sequence or chronology of events helps readers understand and follow the research. Collecting individual stories. Stories can be acquired throughout the various means, including interviews, informal observations, conversations, journals, letters, or memory boxes. All are examples of field text. Restoring, also known as retelling or remapping. It's the process of gathering stories, reviewing them for key elements like time and place and plot and scene, and rewriting the story in a chronological sequence. Other key elements also include the setting, characters, actions, problem, and resolution. They provide the reader background information. Coding for themes. Data can be coded into themes or categories. About 5 to 7 themes are identified and can be incorporated into passages of the story or in a separate section. Context or setting. Described in detail the place where the story physically occurs. Collaborating with participants, occurring throughout the research process. The participant and the researcher work together to lessen the gap between the narrative told and the narrative reported. The narrative inquiry research process involves extensive collaboration with participants in a personal way. Ethical issues may arise in the process of telling stories, and as a result of having told the story. Participants may distort the truth or tell a false story, which results in false data. Trauma or loss of memory may contribute to limitations. Correlating from multiple data points can help to substantiate the data. The story told may contain references to people who have not given consent for the story to be researched. Researchers should seek to get consent from all people impacted by the research. Attention needs to be paid when transposing content to not lose the voice of the storyteller. Some of the benefits of the narrative inquiry research method is, in general, people want their voice to be heard and the chance to tell their story. Thick descriptions filled with data are possible, and reflection allows for the possibility for in-depth meaning-making. Any attempts to hide the truth is generally revealed through the data interpretation. Some challenges to this research method include that stories can be challenging to interpret in translating to data. The researcher needs to navigate challenges of whose stories it is and how it will be interpreted and what data is included. The researcher needs to protect the participant. It can be challenging to assess the relationship between the story, interpretation, and the retold story. And negotiating data interpretation and the presentation of data can be a continual source of difficulty. So, what's your story?